What's up, nerds? Welcome to a Nerdy Entertainment Syndicate movie review episode. Today we're going to be talking about Ready Player One.
Yes.
We're going to start off spoiler-free, few minutes, and then we'll get into spoilers. We'll let you know when we get into spoilers. But we literally just got back to the studio from watching the movie.
Right. So
and
Andrew was able to see it the day before.
I actually saw it. What I thought was opening night, which was kind of a bit of a bummer, but I was still happy to see it on Thursday night. They actually released it Wednesday night. So I'm sitting at work like I could have been watching it tonight.
Was it really Wednesday night?
They actually, yeah, I bought my ticket the week before for Thursday night, the first showings. But then earlier that week, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna bump it up the later screenings on Wednesday." But yeah, I got to see it. I've seen it twice already. It's already, as you guys know, I see movies multiple times that I like.
Yeah.
You asked what I thought of it. I loved it.
As did I, and like I said, it met my expectations and then some. It really did.
Repping the merch.
We knew it was gonna be slightly different from the book, and it was. And it was different enough to make it an awesome movie, and not too off the book that say it's a completely different.
Because you just read the book, because I gave you the book a few months ago. I think it was a Christmas present. I gave you the book, but I read this book maybe 2 years ago. Probably one of my most favorite books I've ever read in my entire life.
And you know how the people say, "Oh, it's completely different from the book," and it kind of takes away from it. No, I understood why they made it differently, and it. At the heart of the movie, it was still just like the book.
Exactly.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, seeing all the interviews with the screenwriters and Steven Spielberg says because there's this section of a book that they talk about. This is not in the movie, but it's like we can't film a character playing Pac-Man for 6 hours.
Correct.
So they have to change it up to make it a little more fast-paced, a little more
Joust.
Yeah, playing Joust, which is one of the challenges in the book, which actually changed the movie, the challenges in the movie.
Correct.
And like you were asking me about it, and I told you, it's like the very first challenge, I just wanted to tear up from sheer joy, man. It's just visually awesome.
Stunning.
The stuff you get to see.
And I also mentioned it a bunch of times while we're watching the movie. They do such a great job that you forget it's CGI at times. Like you really do. Honestly, it's so well real life stuff with CGI that you forget it's CGI, and you honestly immerse yourself into that movie. I was like. I even told you, I was like, dude, it feels like I'm right there with him. And
this is one movie that actually might help or add to that, watching it in 3D, because I watched it in IMAX 3D the first time. And then
what was that?
It was good. Like I told you, like watching it in upgraded sound quality with either like the local RPX or IMAX, sound quality is much better. The music, the sound effects, especially in that race, the screeches
and so it doesn't sound so monotone.
The sound of the DeLorean, that familiar sound of the DeLorean that you hear, and the Zemeckis cube going a little ahead of ourselves. There's a little sound effect that's in there that just kind of it just gives you chills when you hear it with a great sound quality.
So I'm for sure gonna have to watch this now.
So it's definitely worth watching in like the upgraded version with the audio upgrade, or even in 3D. I would recommend. But great movie. Very fun. Like I told you, you texted me like, "What'd you think?" I was like, "It's a throwback to like 80s action adventure Spielberg. It has really that feeling."
And it was excellent. All those little Easter, they're not Easter eggs. All the cameos. The cameos was an awesome thing.
That's fun to see that. You're looking all over the screen for like, "Oh, there's that. I recognize that. Oh, I know where that's from." I had a blast watching the movie, and I'm definitely gonna watch it again.
Oh yeah. So I enjoyed the movie. It was awesome. I for sure recommend it to anybody who likes any action adventure, anything that's geeky nerdy. For sure, this movie's out for you. And for people who have just to watch a movie, or if you're bored, it's a good movie. It's a good story, good cast. You'll enjoy it.
Great movie. Yeah, absolutely loved it. The story, very kind of basic, like you mentioned. It's just these people go into this virtual world to look for an Easter egg that's hidden after the creator dies in order to take over. It's very Willy Wonka meets the Matrix, which is actually the tagline that's on the book, the back of the book. So much, the character designs I liked. The actors were great. The voice acting was awesome. Olivia Cook did a great job. Even like you said, the special effects, just being immersed in it. Like the CG is really good. Being in the Oasis,
correct.
And even the facial features, you see emotion from the characters. It's like you don't see that from a lot of CG type stuff. Like it's like we see the CG just progressing much better. It's like I loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. So we'll get into spoiler talk now. So we'll give you our thumbs up. Go see it. Great movie. Very fun.
Correct.
Spielberg action adventure throwback to kind of like 80s style stuff.
So now, welcome to the spoiler zone.
So now we're getting into spoiler talk. So if you haven't seen the movie, you can come back to the video after you've seen it. But here we go, getting into spoiler talk.
All right, so that race scene was awesome. Like you were talking about it, you're getting excited. It was fun seeing like those fun cameos, how they interacted with the track itself. It was pretty cool. It was a perfect race camera view of you feeling like you're in the race.
Because again, like we discussed earlier, they had to change the challenges from the book to the movie. So the movie starts, like earlier, and it's kind of quick paced. Like it gets into it, like you meet your main character,
right,
and he starts kind of like giving you exposition of like, hey, this is the world we're in now. This is what happened. The creator died. He picked this Easter egg, and all of us have been looking for it for the last 5 years. You meet his friend, and you see the action on this planet Doom, where the friend's at, where we first meet him, and then we get into the race right away. It's like it's pretty quickly paced.
It is pretty quick paced.
But yeah, that sequence of the race car drive, the race car scene is like
it's awesome. That
I'm like
you said, the sequence, how they had the camera angles, switching it back and forth. It was very chaotic. It was a very chaotic scene because there's a lot of things going on thrown at you. And I already told Andrew, once I get the movie, comes out on DVD, I'm going to be pausing it every 5 seconds. Like, oh, okay, I see this, I see this, I see this.
We're going to be like, enhance and zoom, enhance and zoom.
So it's very chaotic, but it's done in a way where you can follow what's going on.
I love the choreography of it. I like the camera movement along with the cars and the way it goes in with the main character Parzival. When it's just shot in the trailer, actually, that like I immediately loved it. Was he's in the DeLorean, the doors open, and the camera pulls out of the shot, and the car, the way it spins, the door closes, and the way the camera follows the car, and you see those wrecking balls and stuff, is like, oh, I'm gonna love this movie. But yeah, that whole sequence, I love the choreography of it, like the way it follows the motorcycle and the cars and stuff. It's like, and the sound design's amazing. I love that first challenge.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And then the inclusion of Kong, that was really cool.
That was
the way Kong was like going after the characters. It was
like you said, the cameos were awesome. And not only that, though, just to right off the talk about the difference from the book. In the book, the first one is in the school, the planet where all the schools are at. This movie doesn't touch anything with schools at all. So that right off the bat, I was like, okay, completely different place. Don't expect to be too similar to the book.
Like with every adaptation, like the book goes into more detail, fleshes out the world a lot more.
Yeah,
we learn more about these characters in this planet that's basically a school world, like all just for education, and that's where the first key is hidden within the book. But again, for cinematic purposes, you need the fast-paced action, you need to move it along. They changed it up. But yeah, they don't really mention the school so much, little bits and pieces. You see the name Ludus is one of the planets. That's the school planet during the introduction. But yeah, and then also another thing that's fleshed out in the book is I'm actually a fan of the love story of it between the two characters.
Okay, hold on a second.
So like, yeah, the love story is fleshed out in the book a lot more.
Yeah.
And that's something that I personally connected to a lot more. Just
because there's more time in the book to flesh that out, to actually get more connection than in the movie. Because in the movie, the way he came about it felt creepy. It's like, whoa, you literally just met her.
It was pretty quick in the movie. That didn't fall as much as like for me in the book, the way the book did, but it still like went along with it because I know you gotta speed it up a bit, the progression of it all. And what's funny though is like the way the characters are described in the book.
Yeah,
you see them on screen as like, that's a cute like VR character. It's like, she's still a cute girl like in the real life. Yeah. So it's like you're not gonna change too much and like having a crush on this VR girl.
No, and in the book, he kind of stalked her. He knew all the information, read up on her, and such.
Followed all her blogs and all that stuff, and I'm very familiar with that.
Nothing was touched up here. And another big difference that wasn't in the book, that's in the movie, is that there's like a rebellion, like the rebels.
That's a big change in it. Yeah.
So they're not school students; they're just regular people in a regular world, and Artemis she's a part of this rebel alliance group, whatever you want to call them, that is trying to pretty much prevent IOI to get the whole keys and everything.
Yeah, preventing a corporation from taking over the Oasis, which they'll start charging for memberships and outrageous, like people won't be able to get into it anymore.
Right, and they also talk about placing ads at 85% before it comes to
funny.
seizures.
That was funny. So. It was funny too. A lot of little funny bits and pieces.
Oh, for sure.
I loved Ben Mendelsohn as the villain, Sorrento. He did a good job.
Yeah, he did a great. He's like a great job.
It was like that classic, corporate villain. He had his henchwoman, whatever. It's like she was fine. She was like a new addition. She wasn't in the book.
No, she wasn't in the book.
But yeah, I mean, I love the character designs, even of the villain Sorrento. Like his like beefy looking dude with the broad chin, the blue eyes, was like all
and then
egotistical.
TJ Miller.
TJ Miller's in the movie, and he just does a voice.
I forget that guy's
voice performance. He plays IROC. I like that character design too, of like that skull as the body, and it's like, but he was another comedic effect.
Yeah.
He was actually in the book, but he had a different role in the book. He was more along with the main players, like with them. He wasn't the way he performed in the movie.
Yeah, which in the movie he's more of a mercenary for him. Yeah, he was doing a lot of things, getting information, gathering, But TJ Miller, just hearing his voice, you're like, all right, what kind of comedy gold he's spew. And he was saying so many lines that you could probably tell, like, oh, this is probably
it's just all improv.
Yeah, for sure.
Great movie. The action was fun. The special effects were amazing.
The cinematography, although it's on computerized, but like you said,
the CG effects were awesome.
Job of real world and CGI and blending it well, where it's hard to tell where it starts and where it ends. And it just did an amazing job at that. And I honestly think that's was going to be one of the hardest things for this movie. We all know bad CGI movies.
Yeah.
We're all thinking, remember the Hulk, that was horrible CGI. The first
mustache,
or a mustache on a person, We all seen bad CGI, so that was always on my head, But don't worry about it. Great. Can't tell the difference sometimes. You'll enjoy it.
You got to see it in a crowded theater too, because you hear those reactions of people recognizing something. And then when we get into the second challenge, similar to the book, they called Flick Sync, like the game of like playing along with a movie. You're in a movie.
Yeah.
And the second one. And then being such a horror nut myself.
Stanley Kubrick
second game, it goes into The Shining.
Stanley Kubrick movie, The Shining.
That was freaking awesome.
The soundtrack.
It plays the Shining theme in there, and then when they walk into the Overlook Hotel, it's just like, it's almost like they're in the actual physical set. It looks amazing.
It was so amazing that you're like, why haven't we caught up to this? I want to experience this. I want to do this.
Like be in the movie like that. It's just. And then that whole sequence was like, it was funny, and it was actually kind of scary too. It was like, I'm thinking of it watching, like, it's kind of scary. Like I could imagine little kids maybe being freaked out.
For sure.
But just the way it's used in a game format with like being chased by the old lady in room 37, and then the axe coming at you from like out of nowhere. And then
when was it in the garden maze? Yeah.
That was awesome. So that I loved, being such a huge horror fan. It's like, that just kind of like, I was already in from the beginning, but this kind of just blew me away.
Yeah. So that's how they got their second key, is pretty much in the movie itself, but which was awesome because it takes away from what it was doing in the book. Remember when they were like, they had to complete the lines?
Yeah.
They would act out the movie.
Yeah, it's called the Flick Sync, where you're in the movie and you're the main character and you have to say the lines and do the actions like in the movie.
You're the actor in that movie. So it took that premise, and it was awesome.
Again, like you have to do the changes from book to the movie, and it worked.
You can't be like, I want to act this scene out. Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be watching an exact movie within a movie.
No. So they did a great job to work around that. So it was awesome. So that was key number 2.
And then leading up to the third key, kind of like 2 bits and pieces of that is like, in the book, the main character, Whaaaaats, devises this plan to kind of infiltrate the corporation of the IOI. And the way he does it in the book, like, again, it's like it's a lot more. Yeah, he changes his identity. He kind of sets it up to get caught by them and like infiltrate from the inside to help the rest of the team and stuff, because the main villain kind of surrounds the last game in this impenetrable orb that nobody can get through. So that's why he infiltrates that way. In the movie, it's switched up where like the girl, Artemis is kind of infiltrates, or she gets caught and infiltrates in a way. So I like the way, like at that point when after Wade and Samantha, Artemis actually meet in person, from that point in the movie, it's like, it's different from the book. So I don't know what to expect. So I'm watching it as like a brand new thing. I'm not
and that's why I was
okay, it's going to hit this beat and this beat.
Where it did hit key things from the book, like, oh, that was in the book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get where there's joust monsters. I get it. I see. I remember why there was this toads.
Yeah.
Battle toads. It was there. And, you start picking up those little quirks, like you said, and it is fresh and it's new. So you're like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen. I know there's going to be something like this. What are they going to do with it? And, when they put the shield up, I was like, oh, okay, so that's how they put the shield up. All right, cool. And then, I was expecting everybody to have mech suit kind of robot warriors, because in the book, they all...
Yeah, in the book, there's more explanation to each one having their own robot avatar within the avatar.
And, but, which it's different in the movie. In the movie, is it Shoto?
Daido.
Daido actually gets a Gundam, and it's early on in the movie. They're in Doom World.
When you're introduced to H at the very beginning.
Correct. You're introduced to H. It's Doom World, and they're battling for, I forget the gauntlet. It's like a glove that gives you this chance to become any kind of robot you want to be. So, first of all, he's talking to H, like, hey, come over here where the race is about to start. So you forget about that. You don't think about it until the end.
Yeah, just the way they call back to it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's right.
So he won that.
Yeah. And he turns into Gundam. So... it was an awesome scene.
That sequence was badass.
Godzilla. So,
cool. And that entire last sequence of the battle, that epic battle, is just like that.
All the fanboys, all the nerds were like ecstatic with that.
Yeah, that actually, seeing that in the trailer, just that little sequence of the beginning of it, when I did the second read through of the book, that helped me put that into the imagination of while I'm reading the book. So like how I tied that together was just like, it felt epic just watching that on screen the way it unfolds. And I can't recommend this movie enough. Right. Such a huge fan of it.
They destroy the shield. He ends up getting the key.
Good guys win.
Yeah, so can't push this or stress this enough. It's a great movie, guys.
So much fun. I loved it.
Definitely one of my top favorite movies of this year so far.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And I think that's pretty much it for this review. Yeah,
we wanted to give you a quick, we just got out of the movie theater, pretty relevant. We'll put it up as quick as we can.
Yeah, so I'll get this down sure for tonight. I'm not going to do too many major edits. Might add a picture here or there where we talk about certain things. But like I said, mainly a review. We already know what movie it's out there. So thank you guys for joining us. This is Los.
Click like, subscribe, share it. Go watch this movie and tell us what you think in the comments below. Or
if you hated it, let us know why. If you loved it, let us know why.
Exactly, too. Yeah, if you're a book reader and how you thought about the difference from the movie to the book, if you enjoyed it, I sure did, because I'm able to separate that. So, again, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Adios.